selective video on consumer behavior. Let's start with how I make decisions. Some of my purchases fall under nominal decision making, like gas, my Netflix purchases, and my Chegg purchases. These were habitual, low involvement purchases where I didn't think too much. I'm brand loyal in these cases. Then we have limited decision making, where I did some internal or quick comparison. Examples are my Starbucks purchases, cookout, and even things like a car wash. These were based on mood or need with few options in mind. For extended decision making, I did heavy research and evaluation. These included my self-cleaning litter box, a new sectional, my hair appointment, and the apartment application fee. These involved comparing reviews, pricing, and quality, especially when the cost was higher or it affected my lifestyle. One of the biggest takeaways from tracking my purchases was understanding problem recognition and how it triggers my buying decisions. Generic problem recognition happens when I realize I need something but the brand doesn't matter much. For example, when I bought groceries at Kroger or started a gym membership, I wasn't looking for a specific brand. I just knew I needed food and wanted to be healthier. These were general needs and that any number of brands could satisfy. On the other hand, selective problem recognition is more brand driven. These purchases were emotional or tied to habits and preferences. Like when I got Jenny's ice cream, I didn't just want any dessert, I wanted that new flavor I saw on Instagram. Or when I bought makeup at Ulta, I had a specific product in mind because I had seen it in recommended reviews. That makes it a more personal, selective choice. Now let's talk about active versus passive problems, which helped me understand not just what I bought, but why. An active problem is one I was fully aware of, like needing a car service or hair appointment. I knew I had a need and I took action to solve it. Some of my purchases were driven by passive problems, needs I didn't even realize I had until I saw a product. For example, when I bought the art frame at the thrift store, I didn't go in needing a frame, but once I saw it, I realized it fit my space perfectly. This is where good marketing plays a role. Brands that anticipate passive problems can trigger my need through timing, visuals, or placement. According to the MBA Institute, strong brands use market research to help consumers recognize both active and passive needs, and that was definitely true for me in this diary. Some brands knew what I wanted before even I did. So in short, generic versus selective determines how specific the need is, while active versus passive determines how aware I am of the need. Together, they explain the motivation behind almost every purchase that I made. Now let's talk about search behavior. A source from ESW.com states that over 266 million U.S. consumers shop online, and a significant portion of them use social media for reviews and visual validation. This was especially true for me. I trust platforms like TikTok because the information feels more honest and user-driven. When it comes to search behavior, I realize that I often shift between internal and external search depending on the situation. For everyday purchases like gas or my Taco Bell purchase, I rely mostly on the internal search. This is when I'm using my past experiences of knowing my favorite meal or my preferred gas station without looking for new information. For more significant purchases, I definitely use external search. A great example of this is when I bought my Pure Cat automatic litter box. This was a $500 purchase, and I wanted to make sure it was safe and worth the price. So I spent a lot of time comparing features, prices, reading Reddit threads, and watching TikTok reviews. I did the same with my Awoohoo markers to make sure that the quality of the markers were worth the investment. Online shopping is the new normal. Most people in the United States shop online with a growing reliance on e-commerce platforms. According to ESW.com, the internet is a big way to shop online and do in-home shopping. For my digital purchases like Netflix and Chegg, I rely strictly on in-home shopping. These are the low-effort transactions that don't require any physical presence at all. They're very convenient and they fit easily into my digital lifestyle. For tactical items or items that I need to touch, like my markers from Michaels or my makeup from Ulta, I definitely prefer more of an omni-channel approach. I might look online at first to make sure that the company has a good price or a trustworthy brand, and then I visit the store in person to actually look at the item and get a feel for the product itself. Reflecting on this project has helped me understand that my consumer behavior is shaped by a mix of emotion, habit, research, and self-image. For small or routine purchases like gas, fast food, or streaming services, I act out of nominal decision-making. There's little effort and I rely on my internal knowledge and habits, but for the larger, more expensive purchases like my litter box, furniture, or art supplies, I move into the extended decision-making sphere. I do research, read reviews, compare prices, and make sure to take my time to find the right product. It's also made me think about how much my self-concept plays a role. For example, I often pick brands that align with my values, whether that's a clean aesthetic for my home or avoiding brands that I don't support ethically. I want to feel good about the products that I bring into my space, and that's why I'm drawn to companies with clear, transparent marketing and a strong sense of identity. This also ties into my problem recognition and how my perceived ideal self sometimes creates purchase motivation. Like when I buy wellness-related items or tools for creativity, these aren't just products, but they're tied to the kind of person that I want to be. From a marketing perspective, this tells me that if a brand wants to reach someone like me, they need to balance emotional branding, their credibility, their storytelling, especially on their social media platforms. Ultimately, I now understand myself better as a consumer, and that awareness is going to help me make more intentional